News 46 Week in Review is brought to you by Southwest Medical Associates. Look for news about their latest healthcare center opening soon in your neighborhood. Southwest Medical Associates. Now that's powerful medicine. News 46 is also brought to you by Red Apple Fireworks. You've never seen anything like it. Nevada's elite fireworks shopping experience. Red Apple Fireworks. You're watching KPVM News 46 Week in Review. Pahrumph's #1 media source for local news with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Welcome to News 46, your #1 local news station. I'm Deanna O'Donnell, and this is your Week in Review. 3 small children and 1 adult female were transported to Desert View Hospital following a single vehicle rollover last Saturday afternoon on Highway 160, just north of the Tacoma turnoff. We are at a single vehicle rollover just north of the Tacoma turnoff on northbound Highway 160. This California car actually lost part of the tire, lost control of it, and rolled over once. We're going to speak to Nevada Highway Patrol Trooper Pat Walker.
Single vehicle rollover, traveling northbound on 160 towards Pahrump. I had a witness that was right alongside in a different vehicle. Basically stated that she was right at or near the speed limit, was barely creeping by him, and she lost the cap off of one of her tires. And again, we're getting in that warmer weather, and tires and batteries are going to start being put to the test. In this case, she lost control of the vehicle when the tire cap came off, swerved to the right, went off into the ditch, and of course the ditch tripped the vehicle and it rolled. There was the single female driver and 3 children in the vehicle. I'm not sure of seat belts at this time yet. They are transporting all 3 for claimed injuries. I'm not sure if they're going to find anything or not. I will go to the hospital later and do a follow-up.
What is a cap?
Basically, it's the outer tread that's between the ground and the steel belts of the tire.
Is that like a retread?
There is such a thing as a retread. This probably is not a retreaded, recapped tire, but it would look almost the same once they separate and come off. Basically, it was a bald tire against the surface. I've seen this before. It's basically, we would classify it a mechanical defect, where she's at or near the speed limit. I'm not certain if I'll issue a citation on that or not yet. I have a few issues because there were 3 small kids and only 1 car seat. I am going to look at that. Probably it'll be a citation there for not having the right number of.
So we didn't require Mercier to land on the scene here?
No, we did not. They're being transported by ground just here to Pahrump Hospital.
Rescue units responded to a 2-vehicle collision immediately following that rollover last Saturday afternoon. All occupants in both vehicles at this accident reportedly declined medical attention on scene. I'm at a 2-vehicle accident here on Leslie and Irene. Nye County Sheriff's deputies arrived on scene along with Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue. All occupants of both vehicles are uninjured at this time. The roadway was blocked while Nye County Sheriff's investigated the cause of this accident, which appears to be a T-bone collision. This is Deanna O'Donnell on Irene and Leslie for News 46. 2 motorcycles collided last week on Highway 160 just south of Basin. The vehicle that had reportedly caused the husband and wife to collide apparently left the scene. We're at a 2-vehicle motorcycle accident in Basin and Highway 160. We're going to speak to Nevada Highway Patrol Trooper Ray Hubbs.
We had 2 motorcycles traveling southbound on 160 in the #2 travel lane. It's not exactly known what happened, but I do believe that there was another vehicle that was in the way, or it started to pull over. The 2 motorcycles drivers hit the brakes and ended up colliding with each other. They were side by side and they both ended up going down on the street.
A husband and wife, right?
Yes, best that I know, they are family, yes.
What happened to the other vehicle?
The other vehicle is unknown. Nobody has a description or anything. I'm not 100% sure that that's actually what happened. That just came from a witness that was out here. I have not had a chance to interview both drivers due to their injuries. The medics were looking at them. So
they were both transported?
Yes, both of them were transported to the hospital here in town.
And they were wearing helmets, weren't they?
Yes, both of them were wearing helmets.
We don't know the extent of injuries right now because they're being checked out.
Correct. I do not know the extent at this time.
And for further investigation, are we going to be trying to locate this vehicle, or you're going to be talking to witnesses, or are they a subject of interest?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to talk to witnesses. I'm going to also talk to the drivers as soon as I get the opportunity, and see if we can find out what vehicle it was. And then obviously if I can get an ID on the vehicle, then I will extend my investigation to try and make contact with that subject.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Both the husband and wife were transported here locally by ambulance to Desert View Hospital. Nevada Highway Patrol is conducting the investigation. This is Deanna O'Donnell on Basin and Highway 160 for News 46. 3 very lucky young men who were involved in a single vehicle rollover on North Highway 160 were uninjured. A single vehicle rollover last night just after 10 p.m. prompted Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue and Nye County Sheriff's deputies to the scene, which was northbound Highway 160, actually near Johnny. This large truck, which appears to be an F-150 with Virginia plates, rolled one time over onto its roof. The 3 occupants, who all appear to be young men, extricated themselves from the vehicle. When Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue arrived on scene, they declined medical attention. Nye County Sheriff's deputies are investigating the cause of this accident. This is Deanna O'Donnell on Highway 160 for News 46. A fully engulfed structure fire on the south end of town had emergency crews battling just to access the building behind a metal structure and the main building.
We're actually on Capricorn on the very south end of town, and just before 8 o'clock this evening we were dispatched for a report of a structure fire. Shortly after our response, we were informed that it was a well-involved structure. It was nearby exposures, so we had a lot of things to contend with during the early stages. As you can see, there's also limited access to the property, so we had to take a lot of due caution when we get the apparatus close.
It's kind of hard to find the location.
Yeah, we just followed the big smoke column, so that certainly helped us in this case. But as you can see, though, it was behind several other buildings, and it actually did have direct extension onto this steel structure directly behind me. And that is a structure that measured at 32 by 41. So there's a lot of potential with this particular fire this evening. Crews did a great job. They got water on the fire very quickly. They went inside and protected the exposure structure with no further damage. The only thing we had to be careful is this particular structure was well involved today, also had a basement. So we had to be extremely careful of moving the firefighters in and out of the area.
And there might have been chemicals and other flammables in the basement?
Yeah, it's not necessarily chemicals, but as I understand, they had propane stored down there, medical grade oxygen, and some other things. And they had used it as generalized storage.
And tell me, why do you think that the structure was so involved when they discovered it?
It appears to be a wood frame structure, probably of older vintage. It's probably dried out from numerous years of the sun. But as far as what actually causes fire, we're in the investigative phase now.
And all the equipment that we used tonight?
Oh, yeah, plenty of equipment. There was 2 engines, a water tender, 2 ambulances, and a command vehicle.
Are we bringing out the state fire marshal, or are we going to be doing the investigation?
At this point, we're going to be conducting the investigation internally, and we'll be checking that property at the rear and see what may have contributed to the ignition tonight.
And I saw that there were some smaller animals, at least to the back area. No animals or humans injured?
There were no injuries whatsoever. Everyone cleared the residence. The family is safe. The primary structure remains intact. Valley Electric's en route. They're going to do an evaluation and see if we can limit the amount of electricity going to that particular area, so we'll isolate it. And so we should have a much better idea on that in the next few minutes.
An accused sexual assault leads to an arrest of one 47-year-old local man. According to the Nye County Sheriff's press release, the victim is just 13 years old. The Nye County Sheriff's Office has issued an official press release. According to the release, on May 18th, deputies with the Nye County Sheriff's Office were dispatched to a report of a sexual assault, and the victim was reportedly 13 years old. After deputies completed their initial interview, detectives were requested to respond and assist in the investigation. The suspect was located and interviewed by detectives about the crime. Due to the interview and evidence collected, the suspect was placed under arrest and booked into the Nye County Detention Center on the following charges: sexual assault of a child under the age of 14 times 2, abuse, neglect, and endangerment of a child times 2, lewdness with a minor, incest, kidnapping with the intent to commit a felony. The suspect, Denny Albert Sosi, age 47, of Pahrump. He is being held at the Nye County Sheriff's Detention Center in the amount of $175,000 for the alleged crime. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. Stay tuned for more local news with your Week in Review. Keep it here.
News 46 Week in Review is brought to you by Southwest Medical Associates. Look for news about their latest healthcare center opening soon in your neighborhood. Southwest Medical Associates. Now that's powerful medicine. News 46 is also brought to you by Red Apple Fireworks. You've never seen anything like it. Nevada's elite fireworks shopping experience. Red Apple Fireworks. You're watching KPVM News 46 Week in Review. Pahrumph's #1 media source for local news with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
The town board is investigating the feasibility of building an amusement park here in Pahrump. We spoke to Don Holbrook and the Pahrump Community Business Economic Development Manager, Al Balaquie.
Well, we're a national public policy company that does strategic assessments on projects around the country and the world for economic development, what we call catalyst projects, projects that cause things to happen.
And CEI is involved in this. What is CEI?
Concert Entertainment Incorporated is out of Los Angeles, and they're our strategic partners in these kind of projects where it involves putting together, the thematic side of something. They're former Disney Imagineers. As a matter of fact, the president's a former head Imagineer for Disney. All Disney folks out of the Disney house. So very creative guys and gals.
And you're going to be speaking at the town board meeting tonight. Tell me some of the projects that Contour Entertainment is working on right now.
Well, we have projects all over the world, in Australia, in China, in India. Here in North America, of course, we have a major, huge project in Houston, Texas, which is one of the largest theme parks. It's a green theme park, the largest in the world, and projects in Europe. So we've probably 5 or 6 big projects going on around the world right now.
You're looking to do a project here in Pahrump. Why Pahrump?
Well, Las Vegas is the #1, still the #1 destination place in the United States with 40+ million people flying in and probably another 10 or 15 million coming in here by car. And that market, has been largely left pent up for family opportunities to do something besides just gambling. And so we think being this close to that market is a great opportunity to create an additional attraction to get people out here and have them spend some money on some other things.
And where are you looking to open up in Pahrump?
Don't know yet. That's something we're going to investigate and find the best location, because what we want is the best location that'll make the enterprise the most successful.
And we're going to be doing a study?
Yes, we do. What we'll do is we don't do studies unless we're interested in doing a project. We only do, as I always say, I will only do a study in support of what I think a real project should happen. So we don't do studies just to do studies. We're very much performance-based, and we only want to do something in support of building something.
This would be a question for Al. We paid for a study to be done?
Do we pay for the study?
Did we pay for a study to be done, or are we looking to pay for a study?
Well, we're looking to pay for a study to be done, but we're reimbursed when the project becomes a reality. The study, we would go ahead, and that's our partnership, the public-private partnership into that, and then once the project is developed out, the town is reimbursed for that in the form of intellectual property rights.
How likely will the study lead to an actual project?
As Don just said, probably 100%. Otherwise, he wouldn't be coming here. They don't do studies; they do his projects.
And what's the cost to the community?
Well, over the long term, I think this first phase is $150,000. I think
correct.
For the initial concept. And what we'll end up doing is, as Al said, what we require is that when the project goes underway, that the community gets reimbursed for all of its hard costs it is invested in developing what we call the intellectual property rights.
And is this approach unique, and why?
I would tell you that I think it's very unique. We use this all over the world, though, and it's something that we've really been the innovators of, and we think it's something that leads to very successful projects, because you always get the right project in the right market because we fit it to the market. Therefore, it's something that investors want to invest in.
How many employees are we looking at, or we're not even at that phase right now?
No idea yet. I don't know the scale or scope yet. So.
How can people find out more about it?
Well, they could go ahead and tune into the town board meeting tonight, and better yet, to even come and listen, and then go ahead and voice their opinion. We'll also be having a some information on the advertisement that's going to run here with a phone number and my email address where you could email me or give me a call, and if you have questions, we'll go ahead and then put it to the town board.
At the Pahrump Town Board meeting, one of the items on the agenda was to conduct that feasibility study to consider bringing an amusement park to the town of Pahrump. The initial cost would be approximately $150,000.
I wanted to put people to work, and so I quickly realized that we had a great potential here for a alien-themed park. We're just an hour from Las Vegas, which is probably one of the biggest destination points for tourists in the world. We got Area 51, the test site, Yucca Mountain. There's a lot of curiosity, and people would love to come here.
What we want to do is create the best jobs, living wages, by the way. I'm a big believer in living wage jobs. And I want to get the most bang for the buck. So getting people back to work in this country, huge issue. I've been very fortunate that my process and the work I've done in my career has not had failed projects. I just don't engage stuff that doesn't work. Now, ask me how many I've walked away from and didn't take the project. Lots. 3 or 4 times the amount that have worked. But I have never had a project fail.
This town's dying, and this is the only thing I can think of to turn it around. People say bring business. I mean, I'm 60 years old. How many businesses are we going to bring here to employ the kind of people this thing will do overnight? Just think of all the construction workers that this is going to employ, and then all the people it's going to employ when it's up and running. And think of it, it's a city. I don't know how big this thing is going to be, but think of it as some sort of a percentage of Disneyland. Remember, this is not an amusement park, it's a theme park. And that takes highly skilled people to operate it, to maintain it, and to serve the needs of that park.
So if the market says they're going to drive to Pahrump, I'm going to make sure they have the easiest drive to Pahrump that they can have. And I'm going to tell the state that that's what we want to do. If the market says they're going to fly here, which I do not think they will, then we're going to do whatever we can to accommodate that. But I believe it'll be the earlier, which is they're going to drive here from McCarran or wherever else. Whenever we do a site location and that part of this project, which is where is the absolute best site for this to be built, I have to look unfettered and say, where is the best location to build this? I'll do my own research on the sites and come back to you, and I may come back and say, there are 4 sites that we believe this works on, and we will rate them. We think this site is absolutely the best site, and I do not know what that site is. And we'll say the second best site is this one, and I'll give you all the reasons I believe that they are. And the third one is this one, and we'll go down the list. And then it will be a decision of where do we think we can get the most bang for the buck, the best value, the most return on investment for you and the private sector. If I think a site's going to have lots of congestion, going to cause lots of traffic problems, I'm going to have people angry all the time, you know, it's going to be a site that I'm not going to want to do something on because I don't want to cause the townspeople a lot of problems. I'm going to look for a site that I think causes them the least problems, gets them the best bang for the buck.
And the board voted 3-2 against the study. After the vote, the discussion became very heated. Town board member Vicki Parker apparently did not feel that her voice was heard considering the item. Board member Harley Calkin, also upset, felt that this item should have been more carefully considered.
This town is dying, and you're not willing to step up to the plate. I'm leaving. I'm done for tonight.
Why the hell are you tabling it? Then in 2 weeks you're going to come up with another reason to table it. Let's just do it.
We didn't even hear from the public that you wanted to hear from.
Very bad. This is nonsense. You shouldn't have tabled this. Absolute nonsense. You didn't get the public comment. You didn't hear what we had to say. You didn't get to hear the public comment.
Mr. Colbart, is there anything to be done to reopen it?
I want to reopen I think we make a citizen's motion to reopen it right now. Nonsense.
I got to you quickly.
Try to do your damn job and you get hammered.
Huh?
I said you try to do your damn job and you get hammered.
Yeah.
And if you would have pushed something through, you would have gotten hammered there. So, you know, it's a no-win situation.
Town Board Agenda Item number 8 was the discussion and possible decision to repeal Pahrump Town Ordinance number 35 relating to business licenses.
The Town Ordinance 35 cost the town about $60,000 a year with the numbers we have now. And I don't know what it provides to businesses. There's not a business out there that goes to the business license board and gets a service that improves their business. It adds costs, it adds hassles, it adds inspections, but it doesn't make the businesses of Pahrump any better.
Has this individual done any due diligence whatsoever in regard to what the business licensing in this town does? Has he spoke with any of the staff or collected any factual information on the numbers? Is the individual aware that we've had over a half a dozen workshops in a 3-month period of time? Is the individual aware of how many businesses have attended those workshops? How many businesses have been helped by those workshops, and how they felt about the workshops that were given to go ahead and help and enhance the businesses?
Did you know there's 2,003 businesses in this town that have business licenses? And did you know the money generated from last year's business licenses was $106,806? That, times being what they are, and most of us business owners, we don't have a problem paying for our business license, because I know, for one, if I needed an air conditioning guy, I call Harley, but I checked him out before I ever called him the first time. I checked to see if he had a business license. I checked to see his credentials.
Anybody in this town who receives a 1099, no matter if they make $35, $65, or $100,000, is required to have a state license and a town license. This is difficult. You know, some people don't make very much money, and they could end up paying more for the licensing than they would ever make on the 1099.
And the vote was 3-2 against the repeal. Keep it here to find out all of the top news from this past week with your Week in Review.
News 46 Week in Review is brought to you by Southwest Medical Associates. Look for news about their latest healthcare center opening soon in your neighborhood. Southwest Medical Associates. Now that's powerful medicine. News 46 is also brought to you by Red Apple Fireworks. You've never seen anything like it. Nevada's elite fireworks shopping experience. Red Apple Fireworks. You're watching KPVM News 46 Week in Review. Pahrump's #1 media source for local news with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
The Pahrump Valley Chamber of Commerce held a ribbon cutting at Books and More on Vicky Ann to welcome this new store to the community.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to the grand opening of Books and More. I'm here with the owner, Jean Harrison. She's a brand new business. She specializes in used books, and she's going to be running a special on trades coming up. If you bring 2 paperback books in, you can take 1 book. So we're very pleased to have her as a new member in the community and a new member to the chamber. So at this time, would you cut the ribbon?
This is a dream that's been of mine for a long time. I'm so excited to be here in Pahrump and opening this store. The ribbon cutting was just phenomenal. I'm so pleased with all the people that have come out to support this. My store is here on my own property, and I have a lot of books. I have about 10,000 books to start. I carry crystal prisms. I have a line of jewelry. I have some kids' toys in there, games. There are some records and videos and books on tape. I always will trade books 2 for 1. You bring in two paperbacks, you can take 1 out. If you bring in hardcovers, you can choose hardcovers or paperbacks. And that's a good at any time. You bring in 2, you take 1 out. I do have an email address, pahrump books and more @ymail.com. The address is 4719 South Vicky Ann. That's between Gamebird and Mance. Phone number is 751-5298. We are open on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 to 5. On Wednesday, we're open from noon to 7 to keep for those people that have to work until 5.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What is forgiveness yoga? We speak to Dr. Michael Rice and Chandanae Breathwaite to find out all about it. Well, you may remember Dr. Michael Rice and his forgiveness sessions and his book, Why Is This Happening to Me Again? And Chandanae Breathwaite and her yoga classes. Well, the two have paired up at the Healing Touch on Post Road. We're going to talk about Wednesday's class as well as Thursday night sessions at Healthcare Partners of Nevada.
Yes, on Wednesday we're going to start forgiveness yoga classes at A Healing Touch Center, which is at 2281 East Postal Drive, Suite 9, and their number is 775-751-0552. So yeah, we're going to be teaching forgiveness yoga, which is a combination of hatha yoga, yoga exercises, and also with relaxation and release and tension of the mind through forgiveness yoga, through Dr. Rice's work.
You guys have kind of paired up.
Well, yes, we've been working together on this idea of bringing forgiveness into the body through yoga, and of course it was Chandani's idea to bring the two together. She had attended some of our workshops over at Universal Wisdom Center, and so on Thursday nights we'll be doing, or Thursday night this week, I'm still in town, I'll be heading out the next week, but we'll be at the Healthcare Partners Center, or Medical Center, in here in Calvada. Calvada, yeah, I have a challenge with that word. And we'll be teaching the ancient Aramaic idea of forgiveness based on my book, Why Is This Happening to Me Again? And what you can do about it. How do you go inside yourself and remove what doesn't belong? And what Chandani is doing is showing people how to open the body on a physical level so that physical forgiveness takes place. So it's a pretty awesome combination.
Wonderful. Chandanae, I know that you've been at the Universal Wisdom, and are you going to be stationed out of Healing Touch now?
I am. I'm also at First Move Fitness, so you can pick a schedule there for yoga classes. But at the Healing Touch, it's going to be more specific forgiveness yoga, and you can join with them. You can call them and find out. We're also going to be doing on Mondays. We're going to be doing half-hour lunchtime sessions. So we will do it, and that you can actually go in your regular work attire, so you don't have to change and everything.
No sweat, right?
No sweat, and it will be really stress releasing, and it would also be connecting with the forgiveness yoga. So
how can people sign up?
They can call the number there. Again, it's 775-751-0552, and they can get a schedule and they can book appointments too.
And Mike Royce, one more time about the event that's happening over there at Healthcare Partners.
Well, if people want to tap into, you can download my book free, Why Is This Happening to Me Again, from the website, www.whyagain.com. You can go there, download the book free. Thursday night at Healthcare Partners Medical Center on Calvada here in Pahrump. We'll be doing a support group. And the first and third Thursdays of every week, there is a support group at the Medical Center for people who are wanting to heal.
What time is that?
7 o'clock every Thursday, the first and third Thursdays of the month.
And for more information, they can go to your website.
They can go to my website. Yes, there's a flyer on the website under schedules, and you can also call the Healthcare Partners. Dr. Stephen Andraki is the one who's sponsoring the work at Healthcare Partners.
Thank you so much.
Delighted.
Thank you.
And once again, you can call Healthcare Partners for more information. That's 751-5500 for those classes with Dr. Michael Rice. Otherwise, give Healing Touch on Postal Road a call for all those sessions that they're going to have for forgiveness yoga. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. Two special concerts are being sponsored by The Way Christian Fellowship. One of them was this past week. The next one is also on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, May 25th, we've got Righteous Vendetta, As Bold as Lions, This Great Escape, and The Crosswalk. They're on tour right now, and they're coming through Pahrump, and they're playing with a local band out here from Pahrump called I Am of Terra, and they're going to be playing at the Way Baptist Fellowship, and the cost is $6. It's Wednesday, May 25th, and the doors open at 5 o'clock.
And tell me a little bit more about the bands. I know that, Vinny, you're in a band, right?
I was in a band a few years ago called the Iscariot Syndrome. We played a lot of local shows, and out of that, we got a team together that we do local shows here all the time. We try to do them periodically. We took a couple months off to kind of recuperate and kind of build a foundation. And now we're getting back. We want to get a lot of events planned this summer to give the kids something to do.
And Jake, yourself?
Absolutely. And another event coming up is on June 15th. We have All or Nothing, Eleonora, The Forerunner, and Alive in Me. And that'll be also at the Way Baptist Fellowship on Charleston Park. This is the flyer. Anybody?
We'll be showing everybody these great flyers. Is there a cost to get into this?
Yes, this one is also $6.
Wonderful. And tell me, these events are very popular here in Pahrump, and we're kind of lucky that these are coming through our town for the kids because they don't have to travel to go to these events.
Yeah. That's our goal, because when I was a kid, I grew up in like hardcore music and stuff like that, and you know, to travel to Vegas sometimes can be a lot, and for kids that are like youth, like 12, 13, 14, that can't get into Vegas, we try to bring these bands out here so they have something to go do, and so just to bring them a little bit of hope and something positive to do.
Wonderful. And the Way Baptist Fellowship having these events is important too, is it?
Yeah, they've been very gracious to let us use their new facility. I believe we're going to be in the warehouse, which is this 5,000 square foot warehouse. So it'll be eventually that'll be the place where the shows will be, and that's going to be a great room to have, you know, up to 1,000 people or so. So that'll be an awesome opportunity.
Where's that located at?
It's on Charleston Park. The address is 1620 Charleston Park, Pahrump, Nevada 89048.
Is there phone numbers or email address for more information?
Yeah, you can give me a call at 702-336-9469, or you can email me at vstraube, VSTRAUBE @live.com.
The Miss Senior Nye County Showcase last weekend at the Pahrump Nugget was like no other. Performers from all over joined in their talents for a good cause.
It's for the seniors for Meals on Wheels, and you know, it's turning out to be really good. We've got all the groups from Las Vegas that were all part of the pageant families, and we're connecting pageant families together from all over Nevada, which is exciting. We're going to Eureka. We're going, where else? We're just going all over the place. But the main thing is it's for Meals on Wheels, and that's dear to my heart. And the founder, Patty Ogren, that's what when she started the Miss Senior Nevada pageant in 1986, that was her thing, to go around all the counties in Nevada for Meals on Wheels and put on a show for seniors and get those ladies. It's around these little quiet counties up in Aram, and look where we're at today.
This is a show like no other.
Yeah, it is. I'm telling you, this is a Las Vegas show, and I'm not just saying that. You know when you get a good show, when you get a, you know, but what the costumes are out of this world.
Yeah.
And it's just remarkable. I can't believe I'm here where I'm at. I mean, coming from Scotland, I would have never been doing this in Scotland. So I tell everybody, I'm very fortunate. I've got the best of both worlds. I do, and I appreciate everybody that participates.
And the shows that we get here in our small town are outrageous and amazing, and I'm just blown away by some of the performances we've seen so far.
Exactly. There's so much talent. It's unbelievable. And for fundraisers and everything, we always seem to come and get together on it, no matter what it's for.
What's coming up next for Miss Senior Nye County?
Miss Senior Nye County, let me see, we're going up to Tonopah to Jim Butler Days. And we're going to be up there in the parade. Some of the girls are going to walk, and of course the Queen's Court will be in the truck, in our truck all decorated up. Yeah. And we'll be doing the walking, but that's okay. We're not allowed to go in on the truck.
Can people still donate for Miss Senior for the Meals on Wheels program after this?
Yes, if they ever want to donate, and we will make sure it gets to the senior centre, because let me tell you, it's important that these seniors get fed. It really, really is. And the other thing is, the money from any donations in Pahrump stays in Pahrump. I made sure of that. So
how can they contact you to donate?
My number is 0309.
Will we be seeing you soon performing here in Pahrump?
Probably so, probably so. And then we've got the state pageant coming up, which our queen and our first runner-up in our last 2009 queen's going to be entering for the state pageant. Wonderful. Carol Facilio and Linda Bird, who was the first runner-up 2011, and Stormy 2010, and Terry Rogers 2011. Yeah.
The Miss Senior Nevada was also at the Pahrump Nugget this past weekend for the Miss Senior Showcase. We had the opportunity to speak with this beauty queen right after she performed a song at the event.
Well, actually, it was Andrew Lloyd Webber. His Love Changes Everything from the Aspects of Love. Great song.
When were you crowned?
I was crowned August 25th, 2010, and I'm still reigning until August of 2011.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Born and raised in Houston, Texas, lived in Baltimore for 32 years. I have a 26-year-old son that sings, and I had been in Vegas in 1978 through the 80s until the fire took down the MGM. I was in Hallelujah Hollywood as a principal. So I told my husband, I said, let's go back to Paradise, and he said, let's go. So here we are.
Wonderful. Tell me some of your platform as the reigning queen.
My platform is twofold. First of all, is responsible pet ownership. I adore animals, all animals. Kind of draw the line at snakes, though. And I have a little therapy puppy named Madison. She's a canine therapy dog, little Shih Tzu. And my other platform is senior citizens. They are our treasure, and everybody should realize that and treat us as such.
Wonderful. And what are some of the hopes in the future for you?
My hopes in future are to be back in the world of singing and performing. I've just cut a demo, which I hope to present to Jackie Bascal, and we're going forward from there. Doors are opening, and I hope they continue to do so.
And how can people keep track of you?
Through Facebook. I do have, just go to my wall on Facebook. I try to keep that updated every week.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for speaking with us.
My pleasure.
His name is Otto Kettner, and he's been working out at First Move Fitness. This senior brags about the results he's been getting. Ginger Tyra of First Move Fitness explains.
I had trouble walking through the door. I had to walk with a cane. Okay, and then the more courses I took from your class, the easier it was and easier it was. Then I started on the machines, and that was helping me walk better and better. And then all of a sudden, after you told me how to turn my feet, that no other doctor ever did in all the years, and I've been walking with a cane for 10 years, I can walk again.
So
I have to call you doctor.
Well, I'm not a doctor. I'm just your friend. Because at First Move, you're like family. So we want to make sure that when you're coming in here, you're getting the best results that you need for your lifestyle. A lot of people think that it's just to come in here to get fit, to get into that bathing suit, to get into that muscle shape that they used to be in high school. But it's more of a fitness because you need to enjoy your life and be able to walk. So I'm glad that you're doing really good. I know when you first started, you had a goal on May 1st that you wanted to have something accomplished. Do you want to tell us what that was?
That was to put my cane away, and it happened.
It happened? I remember when you walked in with no cane, kind of like that. Look, Ma, no cane.
That was it. That was it. And now I can walk better than I ever in 10 years.
That's good for you. I know when you first started, you could barely make revolutions, if any full revolutions on the recumbent bikes. Now can you make them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I burn a lot of calories, and I lost a lot of weight. You know that, and I feel fantastic, especially from your class. When I go home, I'm laughing all the way. Everything is just so wonderful at this family gym. It's fantastic, but it doesn't happen right away. It took me 5 months, but it still happened. I didn't have to go to some hospital.
So if you're sitting at home wondering if you can come in here and do this, you can. You just need to make that first move and come down. The first move is yours. Come down to First Move. We can't help you until you come in. I'm not allowed to go to your house. I wish I could. So if you can come on down to First Move Fitness, we can help you. It doesn't matter what the condition is. There's something we can do for you. So come down to First Move and join our family.
Does your small child show symptoms of some kind of developmental delay? The Nye County School District can help with early childhood screening. If your child is between the ages of 3 and 5 years old, you need to contact the Special Education Department to schedule your pre-screening.
Well, what we're doing is what we always do at this time of the year. We announce about early childhood child find. This is where we go out to have parents contact us if they believe their child may have a disability in the ages of 3 to 5 that they're not enrolled in a private school or a public school system at this point in time. And these are students that are basically 3 to 5 years old. The children the parents feel have a disability, and we take a look at them, evaluate them to see if they need to be coming into our what we call early childhood special education program. Some parents will be at the pediatrician, and pediatricians say, well, there may be a speech issue or a cognitive issue, behavior issue, or whatever. Or a parent may feel that, little Sammy isn't operating like his big sister, Diana, or so on like that, So I've got some different things. When the parents call us, okay, and our number's on the flyer and in the paper, it's 751-4015. We'll ask some questions about cognitive skills, behavior, so on like that, speech, what their concerns are. From that initial information, we'll determine if the child really should come in for an evaluation, and stuff like that. Bottom line, 99% of the kids we evaluate in about it's a 50-50 skill. What I want to make sure is folks understand these are children who they believe have a disability as identified under IDEA 2006, because that's what we serve as special education early childhood students.
What does the evaluation consist of?
Cognitive skills, behavior skills, motor skills, speech. We even ask questions of the parents because they'll give us some feedback to identify any potential emotional, social skills. Early identification and getting services is very important because it helps the child. Now, again, this isn't a public pre-K program. It's children with identified disabilities. And getting the initial stuff into them and working them out helps them as they go through the grade levels. We will have incidences of students who gain skills, gain techniques to make them successful to where they no longer require special education services.
And we're going to be doing this for what time period? Until school starts next year, or what do we do?
The answer is yes and no. What we have is that we have our first group starting up, and if you have a question, like I said, give us a call, 751-4015. We need the information by May 27th, so we can schedule staff members in the evaluation process and that. And then during the summer, we'll probably announce another group of testing for the beginning of the school year, or we may do it again in January. It all depends on how things are rolling out, but we will be doing it again if they're not identified in the SME group.
And that does it for this edition of News 46's News in Review. This weekend's events include the High Desert Shorts International Film Festival at the Prump Nugget. It begins on Friday night and lasts all weekend long. The Memorial Day services will be at the Chief Tecopos Cemetery on Monday morning on East Street. Arrive early. It's right next to the library. And G.G. Sweet's remains will be interred at his residence on Gamebird also on Monday morning beginning at 9:30 with a Memorial Day service to follow. The Prump Gunfighters will be having their last show of the season this Sunday at 2 p.m. on Stagecoach and Blag at the Dusty Flats beginning at 2 p.m. once again. And I want you all to have a great Memorial Day weekend. We won't be having news on Monday night, but we'll see you on Tuesday.